What is this jingle? Pardon? Old Beanstalk Letter's bell can be heard off in the distance. You should probably quit for now. I appreciate all you've done today, but you should probably quit for now. Try to remember how you are today. For some strange reason, that's what the bell's ringing seems to sound like. You've had a big day. What do you say you call it quits and hit the hay? No, because this is the start of the video. Hey everybody, K-Plum Games here, and welcome to another episode of Mother 3. That was, shocking. I guess that's this game's version of the telephone every 2 hours from Dad that you can see in, Earthbound. I guess that's what this game's version of that is. I actually didn't know that was in the game. That's something I didn't know. You learn something new every day, I guess. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of Mother 3. In the last one, we finished exploring the new Tasmilly village, and this time around we are going to set out for Club Titiboo in the hopes of finding Duster, who has been missing since the events of Oso Castle 3 years ago. Now, before we head to the train tracks, I just want to make note of a few things. First off, Lucas is now level 14. He got a level off screen. I did some training. And Boney got the kid's hat that I bought from Thomas's Bazaar. We took out some DP and we bought that for him. And additionally, if we look at Boney's inventory, I stocked up on a bunch of Thunder Bombs from behind Wes's house, which is now an old age home. We have a bunch of items here now because Boney is just an attacker and he's good at using items. Anyways, so heading to the train tracks, we have a Ramblin' Evil Mushroom here. Well, in this game, it's just a rambling mushroom, but nonetheless, here it is. Couldn't get the combo. Alright, 5 hits and 4 hits respectively, not bad. And it's down. That was, a pretty easy enemy, all things considered. Yeah, the Rambling Evil Mushrooms, just like in Earthbound, they can mushroomize you. Or mashroomize you. And basically what that does is it just makes you confused in battle. You might accidentally hit your allies, you might accidentally use your items when you don't want to. And on field, it will actually make you run in reverse direction for a short amount of time. So it's honestly just a little annoying to deal with, all things considered. Try not to get mashroomised if you can. Yeah, so the train tracks are basically a test of endurance. It's highly recommended you stock up on healing items before you come here, as well as battle items like the bombs. Because some of the enemies in this cave are going to be pretty tough given our current level. These sliver hens are pretty simple, honestly, and so are the mushrooms, but we're going to be coming across some pretty difficult enemies later on. So just be aware that this is a pretty long tunnel where you will be tested. So while we're going through this tunnel, actually, I guess we can talk a little bit more about Lucas, who is the protagonist of this chapter. So in several manuals for Mother 3, it's stated that Lucas is supposed to be 7 years old at the beginning of the game. And this is widely accepted to be his canon age at the start. Which is interesting because that's never actually said in-game. But yeah, so it's believed that Lucas and Klaus, the twins, are actually 7 years old at the beginning of the game, which means that now, given the time jump, they would be 10 years old each. And what's interesting in Earthbound 64 is that, much like many of the other characters, Lucas had a noticeably different appearance in that game. So one thing I wasn't initially aware of, and I made this mistake when I was going after Duster's appearance on Earthbound 64, is that many of the characters have several different renders and models for that game, based off of what year the footage is from and based off of what stage of development the game was in. So Duster actually has a model that's much closer in appearance to his current model. That was seen in trailers for Earthbound 64 at a later point in development. And Lucas actually has 2 sort of different models that are kind of similar looking, but his first model looks more like a Final Fantasy character, I would say. Oh, we got a good stick? Are you kidding me? I was gonna talk about this. What the heck? That is super rare. Holy crap. Okay, pause what I was saying. The good stick is a 5% drop from those squawking sticks. I was going to recommend that you grind for one because it's such a good weapon for Lucas. But I just got one completely randomly there. That is crazy good luck. Jesus Christ. You can see now Lucas is doing over 100 damage with his physical attacks. Holy crap, that is insanely lucky. So when I was doing my practice run of this area, I wasn't really like paying too much attention to the game, but I was trying to get the good stick for the longest time. And I probably fought about like 30 of these guys and I never got it. So the fact that I got it, I think on my first one, I'll have to double check that. But I think that was my first one that we fought in this session. That is pretty insane luck. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm in shock. Usually I don't get lucky like that. Anyways, so those squawking sticks are one of the enemies that are new here, as well as these mushrooms, which are basically dog mushrooms. Yeah, as I was saying, I'll just kind of like rewind a bit. Boney used his beef jerky by accident, silly dog. It's okay, he needed healing anyways. I wouldn't have used it, but it's fine. So that's what Mastermization can do. It can just make you waste your items. And now you can see that we're running backwards. We're moonwalking. Oh my goodness. But it runs off pretty quick. Yeah. Let's take a little bit of a rewind. So, Lucas actually has multiple models in Earthbound 64, depending on what points of development he was in. So for his first model, he kind of looks like a Final Fantasy character, and it's kind of like the same sort of art style that you would see for the Duster art that I showed in Chapter 2. I think it was for a similar point in development that both of those models were displayed. But in his more recent model from when the game was closer to cancellation, at a further point in development, he had a different model that had a white shirt, beige shorts, and a blue fanny pack in the game, none of which is seen in his final model. He also had green eyes in that game. And yeah, he looks wildly different here, but not so different that like, you know, it's unrecognizable that that would be Lucas. Just to a point where it's like, oh, he had a different outfit and he has slightly different like features. But for the most part, Lucas has stayed intact from what he was seen as in the beta. Woof. We come over here and we see a magic butterfly and some clothing on the floor that looks like, I don't even know what that looks like. It looks like Tinkle's clothes from Legend of Zelda. Is that his name, Tinkle? I might be thinking the wrong dude. Anyways, yeah, so Lucas looked a little bit different. Girlish clothes are lying on the ground. Yeah, let's open this present here. And we get a magic butterfly. It plays the same jingle that you would get from Earthbound and Magic Butterflies. I want to warn you, this next scene that's coming up is one of my most questionable scenes in the game. Let's just get this over with. I'll have a lot to say about this scene moving forward. Aye, you caught me stark naked. Oh, aren't you that boy I met at Iolia's house 3 years ago? Remember, you said you were going to the Drago Plateau to avenge your mother. Huh? That wasn't you. Really? How odd. I'm Ionia, one of the Magipsies. This is a magic butterfly colony. I often come here to be revitalized after I've worn myself out by overusing my PSI. Are you here because you overused your PSI too? Oh, you've never heard of PSI? That's odd. I sense loads of magical power coming from you. Wait, just endure it for a little bit. Oh boy. I don't like this scene. Don't struggle. Just endure it for a little bit. Yeesh. Just a little more? God, I don't like this dialogue, bro. Okay. Why? Why does this scene exist? Something awoke inside Lucas. Lucas learned life up alpha, healing alpha, offense up alpha, and lastly, the power welled up from deep within his heart. Lucas realized the power of PK Love Alpha. If you remember back to episode 1, we said our favorite thing to love, and this is where that comes up. Our favorite thing ends up being our PSI ability that is special to Lucas. Lucas is our second PSI user in this game. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. You can use PK Love, not even we Magipsies are able to use it. You Sly Devil, you. I don't know where you come from or where you're going, but we might meet again. So at least tell me your name. Lucas. Thanks, I'll remember that. Now go. I want to boil up too. Oh boy. We have a lot to say about that scene. But I'm going to finish the thought that I was trying to say for a while now. So basically in Earthbound 64, there was planned to be a 10-year time jump instead of just a 3-year time jump. So at the end of that game, Lucas was supposed to be 17 instead of just 10 as he is now. There was supposed to be a 10-year time jump, which would kind of make more sense given how drastically Tazmily has changed. I feel like that would happen over a longer period of time perhaps, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, let's head forward. If we come back to this room, I think that, yeah, Ionia's gone, so we can recover our PSI here anytime we need. And yeah, Lucas has basically realized most of his potential now because as a PSI user, he is much better. Huh, alright. Also in Earthbound 64, Boney looked a lot different as well. So Boney, I definitely like his pixel art much better. His model in Earthbound 64 is kind of ugly. And I'm actually just going to show a photo now of the core 4 being Flint, the twins, and Boney. I'm going to show a picture of those 4 from that game. Anyways, let's fight some mushrooms here. Yes. Boom. Yeah, so like the models for all the characters are definitely very different, but overall, I think at least Flint and the twins look recognizable to who they are in the final game. Boney, on the other hand, he looks a lot better now. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, let's touch on the giant elephant in the room, that Ionia scene. I am not a big fan of that scene. I will critique it. I don't see how I can defend it. Because, like, at least with the chapter 3 animal abuse, at least it was a means to an end to like showing how terrible Facade is, and at least that like made you like hate Facade, so it accomplished that goal. So it had like purpose in the story for that reason. But this, what they did in that scene, it's just completely pointless. Like, obviously the dialogue is very suggestive and we don't know what truly went on when that screen went to black, but I don't like the implications. I'm not a big fan of those implications. Lucas is a 10-year-old, and the fact that they're depicting a queer character in a way that would be potentially suggestive of something exploitative of a 10-year-old is very problematic. It reinforces some very dangerous and very untrue stereotypes. And yeah, I don't like that scene. For a game that usually brings good representation to a lot of characters, that is not an example of said good representation. I think that the scene is completely pointless. I think that Lucas could have figured out the power of PSI, learning it from Ionia in literally any other way. it didn't have to be suggestive in the way that it was. But that's just like how I'm feeling about it. I don't know, it's like I'm just not a big fan of the scene in general. I don't see how you can like really justify it, honestly. But, you know, it's it's a it's a rough scene. I don't like it. I'm sorry. It makes me uncomfortable. Anyways, we should probably use some of these items, honestly. Doggy biscuit that we got from one of the mushrooms. Those are special for Boney. They recover 60 HP to dogs, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we might as well use our healing items because we're not gonna be needing them now that we have PSI life up. Yeah, I don't know, like the Ionia scene, I can make a whole video on that topic, but I need to collect my thoughts better. Basically, for the time being, just know that I don't like the scene. I don't think it serves any like really useful purpose, aside from making Ionia feel creepy. And yeah, I don't know, that's just my opinion on it. And we don't even have to fight these squawking sticks anymore because we already got the rare drop from them. I'm so shocked that I managed to get that on video. And it caught me by surprise because I don't even think I realized I got the drop until like a little bit after it happened because I was like distracted talking about something else. That's kind of funny, honestly. See, normally I would be grinding in this part of the chapter for a long time trying to get the thing. Lucas is now level 16. But I guess that's not necessary anymore, is it? Because I remember during my practice file of this part of the game, I ended up getting to level 20 fighting these guys and I never even got this stupid stick. And I was like, you know what, forget it, it's fine. Anyways, this is where the train station ends up going. This is where the factory is. But for experience purposes, I'm going to clear out these squawking sticks. Alright, we have cleared out those silly squawking sticks. And I actually need to heal up because Lucas almost died, and just like with Kumatora earlier on, we can use life up outside of battle, which is pretty cool. Let's head on to the factory. We have a save frog here, the item guy. We have signs that say Titiboo. Huh. Okay. We'll keep that in mind for later, but let's check out this factory. Let's talk to you first, Biff. Oh hey there, Lucas. Working in the factory isn't easy, but you do get free tickets to Club Titiboo out of it. So it's not all bad. Alright. Let's see what's in the factory here. Isaac. Oh hey there, Lucas. Are you here at the factory for something? If you feel like working, I'm sure they'll hire you. Let's talk to this blue pig mask here. Hey, you suspicious fellow. What are you doing here? What's that? You want to go to Club Titiboo? That's a special place for workers here to go and relieve their daily exhaustion. It's not for people who don't work here. If you absolutely have to go there, then it's simple. Just do some part-time work here. What do you say? Are you up for some part-time work? Sure. Yeah? Then that makes things easy. The job is to transport claymen. First, go all the way inside. You'll find a ladder there. Go down it, you'll find a bunch of claymen in the area below. Some of them will be almost out of energy, so you gotta bring them back up here. Bring them one at a time. After you brought 3 up, you're done. Just to be safe, I'll give you the sketch of how the factory is laid out. Yay! We got a sketch of the factory. Oh, and sign your name on this document. No, not your name. I mean, you know, the name of the person in the background. The person pulling the strings, I guess you could say. What I mean to say is the player's name. I just need it for verification purposes. It's nothing too important. You know how it is. Anyways, if you could do that, that'd help out a lot. Well, since the beginning of the series, my name hasn't changed. It is still Calum. This is just to verify that you put in the right name at the beginning of the game, at the church. And yeah. Calum, alright, got it. I'll add it to your records. Now listen, Don't do anything bad because that'll only inconvenience Caleb. So don't forget that. Alright then, work hard. Hold on, dog. Dogs have dog things to keep them busy. Dog! Go on ahead and do what the boss dog says. Aw. Boney has to go to work too? How sad. You gotta love the fact that we're getting a real job. The claymen low on energy are very weak, so you know which ones they are right away. Alright, hop to it. One of the reasons I wanted to mention Lucas's age is because they just hired a 10-year-old to do their jobs. This is literally child labor, but you know. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, hey there, Lucas. Do you come to see me? Oh, you didn't? I see. Hustling, same as always? Yeah. Let's talk to Boney here. Poor dude has to run on a hamster wheel. Woof woof, huff huff, woof woof, huff huff. It's time to exercise once in a while. Or it's nice to exercise, rather. Hey, part-timer. I use this lift to send low energy claymen up to the ground floor. So just bring one here and talk to me. You know what? I'm just gonna say this now. I am so sorry if my words have been jumbled up this episode. I don't know what is happening, but I noticed myself getting tripped up over my words. Anyways, this is the Clayman factory. We have a little map of the place. We see the little outlines of the Claymans we have to bring back. Whoa. Interesting. How do I move this one? Is this not the one we have to move, perhaps? Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, here's the broken one. Yep, you're low on energy, my dude. I gotta take you back. So, the factory portion is a slow part of the chapter, but I do feel like it is intentionally like this. Because the task of retrieving broken Clayman is very tedious. And you know, it's honestly kind of like real life. I mean, I work in a warehouse when I'm not doing YouTube stuff or not like doing other stuff for like school. Like I'm doing warehouse work, so this is not, well, obviously it's not in a cave like this, but the tedium is definitely relatable. The tedium is a very real thing. Having to work hours like this and do the same job over and over, it's yeah, it's like that. Yeah, I mean, like, the people in the factory only tolerate this kind of work for the paycheck. And I guess in this case, access to Club Titiboo, which to an extent is kind of how the real world is. Because, like, obviously people don't work for free in the real world. People need to be incentivized by money. And in this case, they're being incentivized by exclusivity to Club Titiboo, which is just like, you know, playing on people's fear of missing out. Anyways, let's head here. And we drop off the Clayman. Oh, good work, Lucas. Yeah, I know. It is good work, because I did it. Haha, shock the boy. And he's revitalized. Wow. Ha ha ha. Now let's do that twice more. Only 2 more to go. Yay. But yeah, I mean, like, just like the industrialization in this part. Like, the industrialization of Tazmily and the need for work and money and paychecks. Like, it's all very, very real life centered. It feels like the real world a little bit with all of this, you know, all of this jobs and paychecks and, you know, I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well, but this part of the game, although it's cartoonish in the task, it's very, like, kind of real, you know? Poor Lucas has to, like, do a job just to get into a club because he can't do anything for free now because everything costs money now. Interesting. I guess like the need for a job and the shame on those without a job is just another aspect of what the pigmasks have implemented into the lives of like the people of Tasmily. Like it goes along with the themes that they kind of stand for. Sure, they want to give people comfort with happy boxes, but they also want to make people work for that. They want to pit people against each other and create this atmosphere of competition. And to an extent, I mean, that is how the world is. I mean, humans are naturally competitive species. Like, we all want to compete with each other. We all want to one-up each other. People always strive to be the best at something, you know? That's just human nature. And I guess Facade and the Pigmasks are kind of playing on that a little bit. I hope that makes sense. Whoa, that guy's zooming. Jesus. He's going so fast. Alright. Get on the elevator, my dude. So, what do we know about the new Tasmily so far? Let's kind of just summarize what we know already. So, the Pigmasks and Facade basically control everything in Tasmily. Most of the residents have become willing participants in this new way of life. And there's a bunch of people that we don't know or recognize from the beginning of the game. That's basically the major shifts and major changes, and all of that is contributing to just a society, a village that we once were like, would call home. Like, it doesn't even feel recognizable anymore because of those factors. Anyways, we finished our part-time job, luckily. Let's go get our paycheck. Oh, good job today. Here's your reward for a hard day of work. We got a ticket. And here's your pay for today. 200 DP, not bad. Work every day and you can make even more money. Work up a good sweat as you strive for your dreams. You're still young after all. It's gone really late. Go relax at Club Titiboo and have a good time. Good job today. Alright. It is noticeably darker than when we went in. And now we have permission to go to Club Titiboo, which is what I think we'll do in the next one. That's going to be all for today. We accomplished a lot in this episode. And with all that said, next time on Mother 3, we will head to Club Titiboo and try to find this Duster imposter. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.